Hello, hello, hello. You're listening to the HammondCast show on KYOU Radio at 1550 on the AM dial and streaming worldwide on the internet at www.kyouradio.com. And I gotta say hello, night people, because we're broadcasting in the wee hours of the morning here. So if you're still up or you're just getting up, whatever the case may be, I'll be here keeping you company for the next 45 minutes. My name is Jon Hammond, and I thank you for joining us. You know, folks, if you're like me and you've been spending a lot more time around hanging at the computer, that means you get a little bit less physical activity in it. You notice you get a little thicker around the middle because I know I like good food. And, you know, so I was just thinking recently, time to get on a little bit of health regimen. So I joined up with the Weight Watchers. I went to my first meeting a few days ago, and I'll be letting you know how that goes as we go along. They got a point system, so I still got to learn how to do it, but it seems to make good sense. And also I got a official Weight Watchers pedometer, which means I should be doing some more walking, and I'm going to be doing some more walking because we're getting ready to fly at the crack of dawn back to my hometown of Chicago. And we're going to go back in my old neighborhood that we left in 1957, and I'm going to see the house that I lived in until 1957 for the first time in 50 years. And I want to walk all around the old neighborhood there. I know it's a lot different. In 50 years, it's a little bit of time there, don't you know? But that's really going to be interesting. Well, we've got a really great show lined up for you today because, folks, we're going to revisit an earlier broadcast. And this is a really important part of my musical history. I'm a musician in the Musicians Union Local 802, which is New York City. I'm a very proud member. You'd be amazed who belongs to this Local 802. And I am a dual member at Local 6 in San Francisco. We got some pretty fantastic members in California, too. So, one of the very active 802 members who I've had the very good fortune of playing with over the years. And we do have a show planned in Toronto, Canada, in January of next year. So I'm really excited about that. And that is Bernard Purdie. We call Bernard the hit maker because he's on so many hit records. Over 4,000 at the last count. Steely Dan, Aretha Franklin, James Brown. Even the drum solo on Archie Bell and the Drells, Do the Tighten Up. Bernard said that's one of his greatest hits. So let's go back and visit with Bernard Purdie on the HammondCast show on KYOU Radio, where we do it all for you. This is Jon Hammond. You're listening to HammondCast number 7. We're broadcasting to you today from one block from Times Square, New York City. On today's show, we're going to go back a few years into my archives and feature some music I did live with the studio drummer Bernard Purdie, the man who invented the Purdie Shuffle. And we're going to get mighty funky for you from Kimball's East Club in Emeryville, California. Also, I'm going to break out a recording from my old rock band, Hades, that we recorded in 1971. That's before some of you were born, I'm sure. This is from my new album entitled Late Rent, that's available on Apple iTunes. And by the way, the HammondCast shows are available on the Apple iTunes site, as well as Podcast Alley, Podnova, and we'd like to thank Corey James from the Red Jazz podcast show, www.redjazz.com, for helping us with our broadcast and playing our music on his show. And we'd like to wish him good luck on his upcoming trip to Europe. He's going to be leaving soon for Europe. All right. We're going to go to a live appearance at KALX on the campus of University of California, Berkeley, just before we hit our show in Emeryville, and move along with some of the recordings I have for you today. Once again, I'm Jon Hammond, the organ player, not the folk singer. This is John with no H, Jon, Hammond, like the organ, Jon Hammond. I'm a member of the local 802 Musicians Union in New York City and Local 6 in San Francisco. I'm an organist, accordionist, ASCAP composer, and band leader. All right, we're going to back it down on this tune now, which is called Party is Forbidden Here. That was written about a true story, by the way. And we're going to go to the studios of KALX with Bernard and myself, and then to the live show at Kimball's East in Emeryville, California. Here we go now.
And Bernard Purdy, father of funk, the hit maker, over here on my right. He'll be kicking us hard in the ass, and I'll be playing Hammond organ tonight and covering the bass as well.
So is the organ named after you?
I wish. Thank you very much. It's I'm not that old, you know.
You're not? Oh, hey.
Bernard, I wanted to ask you, you are known as the hitmaker. You played with so many people. I swear to God, go to your record shelves right now, pull out any 5 records, you'll be on 3 of them. So what has that life been like for you, just playing? You're the man they call if they want the right beat.
Well, it's been wonderful. I'm just happy to still be alive and happy to still be able to continue to play and have a good time, because to me, music is supposed to be
But
happy.
when you get called by so many different people, do you just have faith that you got your sound down? And how do you pick the projects that you've done?
No problem at all. I can pick any kind of project because the versatility that I've gotten from my teacher from a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
You have to play all kinds of music. Never limit yourself to one kind of music. And for me, the world has been my playground. I enjoy what I do, but I learned my craft early. And that's what you have to do first.
So tell us about that. What was that like for you? You were a kid? How old?
I started at 3.
At 3?
Yes. And by the time I was 6, I had a first toy set. By the time I was 8, 9, and 10, I was playing in the big band because my teacher was the drummer for the big band. I played in the big band during all that time and then moved on to smaller groups at 11, 12, and 13, playing gospel, playing country, playing circus music, carnival music, New Orleans, blues, jazz, and all the time I still had to do the classical because that's where the training came from.
So, what sort of pieces would you play in a classical context? Like, you're talking symphony context?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I was the percussionist because what they did for me in the beginning, I don't wish this on anyone, but they wouldn't let me play drums in the beginning. I had to play trumpet. Yes. Believe me, no one wants to play trumpet. As far as I'm concerned, when you are a drummer and that's what you really want to do. But they forced me to play trumpet so I can be in the band. After almost a year and a half, almost 2 years, I couldn't do that anymore. And they said, in order for you to be in the next part of the band, you got to play another instrument because there's no room for drums. So then they gave me flute. To me, went from the sublime to the ridiculous. But they knew what they were doing because, as a kid, I was good at playing the drums.
Okay, Bernard, don't worry. We won't have you playing trumpet or flute on this gig that we did in 1989 at Kimball's East in Emeryville, California. Let's go to the live gig and hear what Bernard does the best. Get down on the fatback drums. Friedman on the tenor saxophone. Oh yeah. That's Bennett Friedman on tenor saxophone, ladies and gentlemen. Do the organ some. Jon Hammond on the B3 organ, everybody. last mouth to feed, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dynamite.
All right, Jon Hammond here with podcast number 7. That was from a live gig with Bernard Purdy on the Fatback drums a few years back, 1998, when I returned from Europe in Emeryville, California. Next up, we're going to go back many, many years to 1971. This is a rock band I had with Jim Thorson, Steve Wright, and Dave Dan's on the drums, and this was myself on the organ, my very first organ, which was a A100, which is similar to a B3, but it's a console model that I bought from Boss Skaggs when I was about 18 years old. And we're going to do an original composition for you that I believe Jimmy wrote. It's called My Mind's in Motion. It's a thing that we used to do with the Hades Band. We'd like to dedicate this to Steve Wright, the bass player from the band, who's now laid up in a nursing home in California. Unfortunately, we hope that he'll have a speedy recovery down the road here a little bit. So this is for my old bandmates in California. Hades. Here you go now.
all over town. Party, drinking all day, tumbling down in the moonlight. The road racer dangerously was my life. But now the train, you free away. But look out, Lord, I'm a double
Jim
down.
Thorson on guitar. Take it, Jimmy. Give the organ player some. Yeah.
My mind's in motion, second to none. I've seen the ropes now, baby. I've had some fun. I've settled down to romance. I found a romance. Nothing to drink and digest till I'm done. I've had a long life, the one is so young. So many women chase me all over town. Party, drinking all day, tumbling down in the moonlight. The road racer dangerously was my delight. But now the train, you free running. Look out, Lord, double down, boy.
All right, that was Hades from a 1971 live recording in Provo Park in Berkeley with Jim Thorson on guitar, Steve Wright on the bass, Dave Daines on the drums, and myself, Jon Hammond, on one of my very first Hammond organs, a model A100 with 2 Leslie speakers with the hammer down. All right, not bad for 35 years ago recording, eh? Okie dokie, now we're going to go back to year of 1981. This is a thing I did for DTI record label, and it's a tune I wrote a long time ago called Get Back in the Groove with Frank Beiner on vocals, who unfortunately passed away. So I'd like to break this out, and I want to dedicate this to all the folks who have been suffering from the hurricane, and they're getting back in the groove. And that is the name of the tune, ladies and gentlemen. Get Back in the Groove. Here we go now, from DTI Records, 1981 recording.
gotta get back in the groove and get what's coming to you. Oh, you got a lot to say and do. When love's been cruel and you feel like a fool and you don't know just which way to go, your luck is down and you feel like a clown. Remember, there's one thing you should know. You gotta get back, get on back, back in the groove, in the groove. You gotta get back, back in the groove, back in the groove, yeah.
Hey, this is the Money Man, Eddie Money, coming live to you on your internet right here on HammondCast. Hang out, we got a great show for you. Hey, gang, this is Eddie Money with my good buddy Jon Hammond right here. We'll give you a little quick interview, what's going on with my life. Like Rod Stewart could tell you, or Tom Petty, or anybody in the world that's put out their greatest hits. They kind of put you out the pasture, but I've been making a lot of great new music. My daughter's been singing with me. Her name is Jessica Money. She's got a great act. She loves people like Etta James, and she's a great blues singer. She's out there on the road with me. My little guy Julian is 9. He plays great drums. He actually took drum lessons from Gary Malabar, the drummer from the Steve Miller Band, and he also played with the Boss and everybody else, and also with me. My other son Joe is a great guitar player. He's about 15, and my other son Desmond, who's 13, plays bass. So eventually maybe I'm going to have another Eddie Money band going on.
Thank you, Eddie Money. We're going to take you home, folks, with a tune I did with Eddie Money a few years ago called I've Been Loving You Too Long. Like Eddie Money would say, good night from New York. We love you. Taking you home with Eddie Money doing I've been loving you too long. Here we go now.
I've been loving you too long, and I can't stop it now. You've been gone, and you want to be free. Time after time now, come on, happen to me. I've been loving you just a little too long, and I can't stop now.
Don't stop now, Eddie.
With you, my life became so wonderful. Time after time now, I was made to see I've been loving you just too damn long, yeah. I can't stop now. Oh, you were born of it, and you want to be free. That's not all, now baby, you got that happen to me. I've been loving you too damn long. Oh, please don't stop it now. Oh, don't stop it now. I just wanna be free. Oh, don't stop it now. I said please, please don't stop it now. Baby, thank you, love you, New York. Good night.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody.